Okay, just to confirm you can all hear me clearly. Can you hear me? Okay, I see a thumbs up from Sammy, so I take that as a yes.
We can hear you.
Okay, great. And you can see my screen? Okay,
Yes, we can see
thanks.
your screen.
Thank you. So, hi everybody, good evening. Welcome again. Um, this is our Excel masterclass. Yeah. Also to reiterate that we are here. The objectives are simple. Become a pro in Microsoft Excel, in spreadsheets, and in Power BI. That is the objective, right? And then it's a beginner-friendly class. So there's going to be increasing. Sorry?
Sorry, please, your voice is low.
Really? Let me confirm my audio source. Okay. Okay, so like I was saying, um, yes, so in this class, we're going to be looking at Excel basics and Excel fundamentals and Excel masters. Like it's going to be increasing in as we progress. It's going to be from beginner to intermediate to pro, right? Increasing difficulty. Of course, it gets easier as one continues in it. So let's just be consistent, go with the flow. Sessions are recorded, so you could always make reference to it afterwards and all that. System requirements. Primarily, you want to have Microsoft Excel on your computer, at least 2019, but preferably 2021 or Office 365 if you have that access, that would be great. However, if you have lower versions and you cannot upgrade, it's fine. We can make do with that. So let's get started. Hands on. Just to confirm, we have our computers with us and we are ready to dig in. I will surely take. I take silence as a yes. Thumbs up. Okay. Also to remind us that this is an interactive class. That's why I want your names. So I will ask
Yeah.
questions. Okay. This is the Microsoft Excel interface. If you, the icon, that will be two ground roots, but this is the icon, Microsoft Excel. By clicking it, it opens the Excel sheet, right? Okay. Um, we have different tabs here. We have the file where we could save files just like Microsoft Word or any sheet. We have save our files, open new files, open existing files, print, and all that stuff, carry out some settings. However, um, that's more or less under computer appreciation. Just to run through the Excel interface, we have so these are called tabs at the top of your screen. They're called tabs. So we have the home tab where you have different features like you can see. Let's just run through. Cut, you paste. If you copy an item and you want to paste it, paste, cut, copy, format paint. I would get to use most of these. These are clipboard tools. These are font tools. If you want to format your um, data, however, bold, italics, underline, increase the font size, the fill color or the font color. We have the alignment options. You want to move position, basically help you to align your data, text wrapping, orientation, text wrapping, merge and center, number. These are formats. You have different formats. We're going to use this a lot. Formatting our data. So the home tab, currency, and the likes, percentage, and all. Conditional formatting, we would get to know how we use this. Basically, to condition our data to format our data based on set conditions, and so on and so forth. Cell alignments, deleting, and all that. We have editing. Sorry, this is the boring part, right? That's why I'm dragging to go through them. Yes, and we have some of these features you may not see in if you have the older versions of Excel, but I use Office 365. Yeah, and yes, I have Copilot, which is an AI that helps you makes your life easier if you need it. In the Next, we go to the Insert tab. In the Insert tab, we have what we call pivot tables. We'll be looking at this at some point. Very interesting stuff. Um, Basically tables. This is tables. And the table two. If you want to create tables, we have if you want to insert images or shapes, icons, ta 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 ta. We have charts if you want to create charts like pie charts, bar charts, line charts, waterfall charts, and the rest of them, column charts, maps, pivot charts. Okay, spark lines are also used for data visualization. We have slicers, a very interesting tool we're going to learn to use. Also timeline, a form of slicers too, but for time intelligence, for calendars and all that stuff. And text box, this is basically for text. We may or not need to use this. They come in handy. Equations, symbols, and all that. Page layouts, just like in Microsoft Word, helps you in arranging your files. Formulas, the formula tab has a whole lot of formulas. I think in details, basically you could find these formulas from, you have different types of formulas. Okay, the auto sums. You have the financial formulas. If you're in the finance field, you'll find a lot of formulas you'd use here, or not. Logical formulas, have to do logic and reasoning have to do with ifs and all that stuff. Else, stuff like that. You have text functions where you have to format text, dates, lookup, so basically formulas, right? And all that stuff. Data is an interesting, what do you call it? Aspect of data that we would explore a lot of it when we go intermediate Pro, right? We're going to see how do we use this from this data tab. We access Power Query, which we're going to learn. We're going to be very proficient in it, and it's a very in-demand skill right now. And yes, we can import data from other data sources or data files and all that in here and analyze our data here. Data types, formats, and all, or data validation is something we'd also learn, flash fill. So we're going to be looking at a whole lot. So different tabs have their different purposes where applicable. Power Pivot is something we're going to also touch in the intermediate, so advanced part of it, more of advanced actually, part of the Excel. So there we go. There we have it. Um, we're going to carry out one exercise. I am going to carry out one exercise to showcase and give you a glimpse of making sense out of data before we get into formulas and functions. Okay, so allow me to open. Like in our previous class, I showed a data set. Yes, I showed a data set that had to do with our registration data. So everyone who registered, or I mean, prior to the class, I've not pulled out some other data. I should anyway. They'll just work with this. Had their data come in here, I deleted some part of it for confidentiality purposes, right? And who can remind me the definition of data analytics? Anybody, please? As per our last discussion. Nobody? Okay, I'm going to call names. Hmm. Sammy, Samuel, please, can you help us? Data analytics.
Yeah, you said data analytics is the collection, transformation, and organization of data in order to draw conclusions, make predictions, and drive informed decision making.
Hmm. Back in university, I had this lecturer that if you answer his questions exactly how it is in the textbook, you fail that paper. I'll try that. But yeah, okay. So basically, we analyze data to get insights from the data. Okay. So looking at this data set, I mean, it's just 12 lines, right? 11 inputs. And if I take my time, I could make sense out of it. What if this data was 100 or 1,000 and all, and I need to make sense of it? So it's just going to be rigorous, right? So let us do something quickly. We using data analytics. Um, Let me see if I can find that PowerPoint presentation. Okay, data analytics. The collection, transformation, and organization of data to draw conclusions and make predictions and drive informed decisions. So let us apply that here quickly. So the collection aspect of it was when you fill the forms. Everyone who got to register filled the form, right, to have their data here. Now it's stored, it got stored, and I extracted the data sets. These are the timestamps of the registration, and I want to I want to understand who my target audience are, who my students are right now, and I'm going to use this data to do that. Um, First of all, I've collected the data. The next thing is to transform the data so it's workable. Timestamp, okay. Let me perhaps change this to a date. I'm not so sure I like this table format. I want something more visible. Um,
Hello, Mr. Jason.
yes, please. Tell me.
Okay, so this is me. Okay, so I wanted to ask,
Okay.
did you try to format data as a table before trying to work on it? Because I think I missed some parts.
Okay. No, I did not. So here's the thing. The data was filled from, so the data, once you fill the form, it got into a Google data sheet, right? And once
Okay.
yes, and all I did was to download it to Excel. So when you download, I think by default it stores as a table. Yes. So once you download as an Excel sheet, it maintains the same format you have in in yeah, in the Google Sheets. But not to worry, I'm not doing this to, like, this is not, we'll get into all that. This is more of a showcase of what we can do with data. I just want to quickly maybe excite us on what we can make, how we can make sense out of data. Then we're going to go deep, we're going to go back and so just go with the flow. I don't expect you to grasp what I'm doing, but if you can, oh, great. Like I said, different people have some different knowledge, different knowledge levels. I'm just trying to do a quick rundown on the data analytics process where we collect data, transform, organize, draw conclusions and predictions. Da, 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 da. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is to format the data, just to arrange it. So this is the transformation and organization so that I can use this. Do you have prior knowledge of data analysis? I'll just change this to prior knowledge because it's too long. Reason for enrolling. I'll just put reason for enroll. Um, what are the expectations from training? I'm just going to put expectations. No. Yeah. Then we have the age group. So here we have same data, we have same, because these were drop downs that were filled. Reason for enroll, knowledge include, yeah. So this is also, these were also selected, but expectations had to do with, I think expectations were freehand. So different people have different expectations. So confidently use data analysis to become a better data analyst and manager, to become professional data analyst, no comments, to gain absolute knowledge of data analytics, proficiency in this practice, and get into tech, to become a certified data analyst with proven skills. Oh, this is deep. I want to gain solid knowledge of Excel, become an excellent. Apparently, everyone wants to be excellent in data analytics. Some people left it blank, but no worries. So I'm just going to quickly use a tool called pivot tables to analyze this data. If I go to insert and I click on pivot table, it selects a table and Okay. So let's have an idea of people's location. So from this, we see that a lot of people, I mean, we have River State as our highest. So from here, I can see that, oh, River State, so the highest number of people in this training are based in River State, 7 out of 11. Okay, that's some insights, right? Um, I'm trying to know my students now. So I want to know how many of them had prior knowledge. How many students have prior knowledge of data analytics? And it's just one person, right? So what should that tell me? That should tell me that I should, I mean, it could inform me on how I should take up the classes, right? I shouldn't go all high level, but I should come down to the grassroots level. Yeah. Now, just gathering insights here and there, pretty interesting insights, I must say. Um, yeah, okay. What else? I'd like to see the reason why people enrolled. Knowledge improvements. Majority of people for knowledge improvements. People want to transition to data analytics roles. And one person wants to see if it's a good fit for the person. Now, let us see gender-wise. Which gender is more interested in learning data? Age. Okay, this is age group. I also need gender-wise. Ah, this is a close call. What other information can we get? Anybody? What other information can we get from here? Oh, this is, I don't even know what I put here. Prior knowledge. Yeah, I'm waiting. Nobody?
Employment status.
Oh, yes. Great, 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 great. Okay. So from this data gathered, I can, I've been able to see that I have the highest number of participants from River States. I can see that a great deal of people, 90% to be precise, of my students, or let's say 91% actually, of my students do not have prior knowledge of data analytics. Reason for enrollment, knowledge improvement, transition. So these are like goals, so like set goals. So why are you taking this course? I want to improve my knowledge. I want to transition to data analytics. So this helps me in narrowing down the learnings and the teachings towards this light. Age group. So we have a tie. Interesting. So everyone wants to learn data from the young to the mid-aged and those that prefer not to say. And yeah, gender-wise, it's, I mean, male six, female five. I would say it's almost a tie, more or less. Yeah. And gender. Oh, sorry, this is gender. This is more of employment status. So we have six employed, self-employed, students, two students, and one unemployed. I can further drill down to know maybe of those who want to improve their knowledge, how many of them are okay, out of the employed people, how many of them, okay, drilling down based on employment status, what are the what do you call it, reasons for enrollment? I'll just put this here. And let me do something. Just to reiterate, we would learn all this subsequently. I'm just trying to show us what we can do with data. Okay. So from those employed here, 5 of them are for knowledge improvement, and 1 of them transition into a data analytics role. The self-employed, checking out data and knowledge improvement. Students transition to data analytics role and knowledge improvement. And the unemployed transition to data analytics role. Okay, so this is pretty good information, I would say. And we're going to get to use this tool. This tool is called Pivot Tables, like I mentioned earlier. You'll get a hang on it. We could go further to visualize, and these are things we use on a daily, right? We can go further to visualize our data if we want them in charts. Charts are some good way of representing data, right? And the idea is at the glimpse of an image, you can get the gist of the whole situation. You know how it said that a picture speaks louder than 1,000 words, right? And that's it. So rather than stressing to or try to look for the highest here, just looking at this visual, I can easily tell, oh, River State, we have the highest people. And what else should I use? Employment status. Perhaps I should try a pie chart with this. Okay. So this is on a surface level or just an overview of data analysis. Which aspect is this? Sorry, I skipped at some point in the explanation. So I was able to transform the data. That was when I had to arrange it, format it. Right. Remember when we talked about your data has to be, you must have data integrity, your data has to be neat before you can analyze it, right? So that's why we have to organize it. I had to clean and streamline. Oh, we didn't do anything with the dates. So it'd be nice to do something with the dates. But anyways, we're going to see all that. Subsequently, after we had our data transformed and organized, we then started analyzing it. So these were the processes of analyzing, getting out information, extracting information from it, right? Yes, and after analyzing, it helps you. If you remember the data analysis process, let me go to that of the data analysis process. After you analyze, you share the data. So when it comes to sharing the data, you share your data in visually appealing forms like your charts, could be in form of tables and whatnot, could be with summaries, write-ups and all that. And when you share to your stakeholders, I mean, they don't want to see all this gibberish and a whole lot of tables. They just want to see at a glance, oh, at this glance, we have 55% of our students who are employed, Rivers State, and all that we can gather. And at that instance, they're able to make informed decisions. Say I was a stakeholder here, and I needed to know how I was going to take up handle this training, and I had an analyst analyze the data based on those who had registered for the course. They follow the process, they get the data, they prepare it, process, analyze it, and share it. When they present this data to me and I see all the information from it, I act. So it helps me make informed decisions in line with the training. And this is applicable to other industries, like we said. If we are able to analyze, which we're going to do, a sales data, a company that handles sales, and we see the trends of products, the trends of sales, revenue generated from so and so regions and products, it will help inform decision. Oh, over the years, we haven't really sold this product. What are we going to do about it? Do we stop selling it? Do we reduce the price? Do we, yeah. So basically, just that. Or do we change the location where it's selling, where it's not selling? Just basically information that would help maximize profits. That's what business is all about, right? To maximize profits. So that's our job, to help them see what they are not seeing so that they can improve on marketability and profitability. Okay, that is all for the executive summary or visualization. Do we have questions so far? Any questions? No questions. Okay, great.
Please,
okay.
I have a question, please.
Oh, please ask.
What are the methods that are used for preparing data for analysis?
The methods that are used for preparing data for analysis.
Yes.
Help me understand the question. Okay.
In the process, yeah, we have ask, prepare, process, analyze, share, ads. Yeah, in the preparatory aspects,
Okay.
what are the steps? What are requirements? What do you understand?
Okay, yes. Okay. So the preparatory aspect, the aspect of preparation, preparing data, from the last class, if you remember, we talked about matching these two, this process and this. Preparing data has to do with cleaning data, has to do with organizing data, right? So, like this data set, in preparing the data, I have to ensure that each column maintains its data integrity. Like the date column has to be only dates. I don't want gender falling under dates. Perhaps someone was filling it and then filled it wrongly instead of gender, instead of dates, they put gender and all, right? So data preparation entails data cleaning, entails data formatting. Sometimes we could have our date format in our dates in a different format. Maybe numbers, we could have it in text and all that, but this is a date column. How then do we analyze this? It's going to give us errors, right? But we have to ensure column by column that our data is clean. There is also the aspect, we're going to have a session where we talk about data cleaning in the preparation process, right? We're going to look into all that. So basically conforming your data preparation has to do with ensuring your data, the data you are about to analyze is clean and ready for analysis. Ensure they conform to proper the right order before you analyze. I hope that helps answer your question. We'll further look into it when we have the class on data cleaning for data integrity. Okay?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, so I love questions. Any other question? Please feel free to ask. There is no wrong question, by the way. Do not think your question is dumb or too easy or too tough. Just feel free. Okay, none. So let's go on. Now we'll be looking at formulas and functions. Okay, quickly, I don't know if you have the icons out there. I'd like to know how many of you hated mathematics from school or from back in the days. Perhaps raise and drop your hand or give a thumbs up or comment box, something. I need reactions. Samuel hated maths. Okay. Benjamin Damilola, the thumbs up, is it loved maths or hated maths? Okay. I'll take it as loved maths. Okay, we had a lot of people that loved maths. This makes the work easier. Cool. All right. So mathematics had a whole lot of formulas. Mathematics had a whole lot of formulas and yeah, you had to cram a lot of them, right? And formulas are not the best to cram. It's best when you understand them. However, fear not, that's not exactly what we're going to be encountering here. It's pretty straightforward here in Excel. Now, formulas. What are formulas? Formulas are basically the operators plus, minus, multiplication, and division. Oops, yeah, expected that. These are formulas. I don't know if you could see, if you can see. Okay, let me zoom in here. It's better. Plus, subtraction, division, and multiplication. These are formulas, or rather, these are operators used for formulas. Formulas, they're formulas, right? Yeah, they're formulas. Operators for formulas. I'm mixing up the names right now. But however, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. So these are formulas, and we're going to do examples of formulas right now. Have some examples. If you have a cell with 1 and you have another cell with 1, we have sum, we have subtract, we have divide, and we have multiply. Okay, so we have our cell 1 and cell 2. Oh, I have missed a step, but after this, I will show you. Forgive me, a big omission on my part. Okay, if we want to find the sum of this, okay, let me use 3, and let me use 2 and 3, since it's more dynamic. To find the sum, when you're entering formulas of functions in an Excel sheet, you start with an equal to sign. You can find this on your keyboard. You always start with an equal to sign. Okay? So equal to 2, that's this cell, plus 3 gives 5. Let's do the subtraction of these two. These are the two items we're considering. So subtraction equal to 2 minus 3. We have minus 1. For division, equal to 2 divided by 3. And for multiplication, equal to 2 times 3. And there you have it. So if you grasp what I did, in summary, you start when you're entering a function or a formula in Excel. We'll look at what functions are shortly. You almost always start with an equal to sign. Oh. You must always start with an equal to sign. So we did the addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. We'll come back to this shortly. I must take us back to the beginning. Now, in an Excel workbook, this is called an Excel workbook. This whole interface is called an Excel workbook. Now, in an Excel workbook, you can have multiple sheets. This is sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. You can keep using plus sign to add more sheets. You can right click on it and delete them. Right. So you have the Excel workbook, and then you have worksheets inside the workbook. So worksheets make up one or more worksheets make up an Excel workbook. So that is point number one. Forgive me, I was going to say this when I was showing you through the Excel interface. Yes, I was so excited to show you what we could do with Excel. Now, second thing to know is this. This is a cell. These are all cells. Okay. A single rectangular box is called a cell. Now, Excel is arranged, the Excel worksheet is arranged in a form of array, an array format where you have rows and columns. Rows, the yellow, and columns, the this blue is too blue. The columns. So from left to right, rows. So row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, and on. Rows are identified by numbers. And columns are from up to down, vertical, right? Column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, rather, column A, B, C, D, E, F, and on it goes. So columns are identified by alphabets, right? And a cell is an intersection between a row and a column. Oops. So this red is a cell. You have the row rather, and then a column. So under column B and row 5, you have this cell. And that is how cells are identified, by the row alphabet and then the column number. What am I saying? The column alphabet and the row number. So B5. This is the name of this cell. So at the left corner, top left corner, you have where you see, and when you select a cell, you see the number of the cell there, or you select a range of values, a range of cells, you see strange. Okay, if you have values, okay, that's strange. Anyway, so you select a cell and it gives you the cell number, okay? The cell name. So just to know if we follow, I'm going to call someone randomly. Abdul Latif, right? What cell?
Yes, I'm
I'll
with you.
just zoom in. What cell is this?
That's
With the
an
color
F7.
green.
That's F7.
F7. Why is it F7?
Yes. So we are in a column F and then row 7. So this is F7, where the intersection occur.
So
So
column
this cell is the
F and row 7.
F7. And
Okay.
yes.
Okay. That's great. Thank you very much. So this is very important to know because you're going to be working with formulas, you're going to be working with functions, and if you do not know where cells are, how are you going to effectively carry out your computations? It's going to be very challenging for you. Okay, so what else? So we have the name box here. We've looked at columns and rows, and we have also looked at cells, right? Very important to know. Here we have a long tab here. It is called the formula bar. The formula bar is when you select a cell, you see everything related to that cell in that formula bar. If we go to a sheet, once I select a cell that contains a value, it's going to be here. I'm going to see it here. If it's a cell that has a formula inside, you would see the formula inside the formula bar. That's what it's for. Okay. Are we clear so far?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions? So, let me see. What do you call it? Does Zoom allow participants to upload pictures? Resame, please, any idea? Yes, there's an option for files. You can literally
You can
drag
up-
and
you
drop
can up-
files. Let me give it a try.
That's it in the chat box.
In the chat box, yes.
Yes, in the chat box you can.
Okay. Because we are going to be doing, yes. So I have tried it out. So I'm going to be giving let's do an exercise now, a quick one. I'm going to clear this. So this is 27, 24, and 15. I want everyone to carry out this computation for formulas, and send a screenshot to the Zoom link. Yeah. So use the formula functions for these four and send a snapshot. Oh, how are you going to do it? So there's this tool on your computer. I hope it's not going to be just called sniping tool. Snipping tool. If you come and you search for snipping tool, you would see it. If you open it, you can come to new and hover over and take a snapshot and send. Ah, this may be tedious for people. I don't know. Does anybody know how to do this? If it's going to be a challenge, we can skip for today and learn it subsequently. At least one or two people should be able to do this. So I want to see the solutions on a snapshot.
To snipe, you just use your Windows plus Shift plus S and it snipes.
Oh, nice, nice. How do we use Windows plus Shift plus X?
Just press it, Windows plus Shift plus S and it opens the sniping tool.
Okay. Oh yeah, now snipe and sensor, sharp, sharp. So if I get up to 2 or 3 snipes, I'll be fine. And then I'll move on. Remember, you start with equal to sign, equal to this cell plus this cell. Oh yes, I'm going to talk on that too. Equal to this minus this, equal to this divided by this. Nobody has sent me screenshots here. I thought before I even finish, I would receive 5. I'm still seeing my own. Is anyone having any challenges? Maybe I assume there's some challenges in sharing, or are we still solving? Are we still trying it out? Or can anybody hear me? Perhaps I'm talking to myself, just to be sure. Oh, okay. Finally, one has come. Thank you, Blessing. Okay, that's what we're talking about. Nice, nice, nice. So we have our sum, subtract, divide, multiply. Well done, Blessing. One more person are motivated. One more person. Where is the Shift Control X guy? Okay. Tammy, Benjamin, Ascentis. Okay, this is beautiful. Nice, nice, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Great job, guys. Great job. Good job. Okay, so this is literally it about functions, about formulas. Of course, we know that formulas could also entail multiple summations, right? Where we are mixing things all together equal to this plus this minus this plus m times this. However, I'm sure we remember our board mass. I had this session where I got the whole board mass thing all mixed up, so I'm not even going to try to remind us of board mass right now. Bracket of division, multiplication, and subtraction. Um, oh well. So that's that about formulas, right? Now let us talk about functions. But do we have any questions? Did anybody try it out and couldn't do this? Please, I would like to know. I will take silence as a no. Okay, no problem. So functions. Now, while we have formulas where we get to enter the values equal to 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2, or different columns, functions are more like predefined predefined rules or predefined formulas. Let me look for the Google definition of functions. Functions are predefined. Oh my God, I went to school. I'm just going to post here. So functions are predefined formulas that perform calculations by using specific values called arguments in a particular order or structure. Predefined formulas that perform calculations by using specific values called arguments in a particular order or structure. Beautiful. So we're going to be looking at this. We're going to start from the simple ones to the complex ones. So we have functions such as sum, count. Please, those who have been using Excel, can I hear, like, can you list out some functions that you know? I've mentioned the easiest ones. Hello? Interactive mode on.
Hello.
Function, just call them out. This
Okay,
chorus
we have
answers
Just
are
some.
allowed. Yeah.
We have
average.
average, maximum,
Oh, max,
Mean.
average,
count.
Mean.
Okay, count A.
count A,
We have
mean,
if.
okay. We have what?
If.
If, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Count if.
Oh, count if. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Okay. Who else?
Look.
Lesson you have tried. Let other people talk. We are muting the mics of others. Thank you. Okay. Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? I need 10 more. See, you were saying something. I wanted to hear your voice. See, it's
Okay,
better.
I answered already. I said average.
Oh, you said average. Oh, that was you. Okay. Okay. Who else? Buddy? Okay. There's VLOOKUP. There's literally so many of them. There's so many of them. VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, index, trim, SUMIF, and the likes of them. So what we're going to do, we're going to explore how each of these formulas work. We're going to try them, but then we're going to try to start from the simple ones and then we'll go through. Sum, we saw how to use a plus symbol under formulas to do sum. Now we are going to explore how to use functions, predefined formulas. Now, just to point out, I remember in some session I had, someone asked a question. Let me just take this together. Someone asked a question when I did a computation like a sum, for example, equal to this plus this. The person asked, why didn't I enter these values directly? Like equal to 24 plus 15 to get my values, right? I think that's pretty much a valid question. Now, the reason why this is done, why one calculates from the cell I did the calculation on the cell, is so that it gives room for flexibility, right? It gives room for the dynamics in case these values change, because data changes, right? If this changes to 32 or this changes to 45, you have your data dynamic, your result is dynamic. You don't have to start coming here again to start editing equal to 32 plus 45, right? So one of the primary goals of data analytics also, besides deriving insights, is automating processes, making processes seamless, making processes easy to analyze, right? To get results, to reduce manual tasks and all that. So there we go. I hope that answers someone's secret questions. So let's look at sum. Now, remember, for formulas and functions, to start them, you must always begin with the equal to sign to initiate. Now, this formula, these functions are predefined, they are already existing in the system, right? So to use them, you have to start typing like sum. I type SUM. Or once I type S, I see a list of functions that come with S. Then sum SUM. So I see sum here and I select it. Now, if you remember the definition from Google, it said something. Now, they are predefined formulas, right? To perform calculations by using specific values called arguments. That's fine. And in particular order and structure. So, oh boy. So these guys are actually structured. You can see the screen. For this sum, there is an order you have to enter these formulas for them to work. And we're going to see a whole lot of that. So sum is when you want to add numbers. So from the structure, I call this a personal name I give it is the map, like a mapping that shows you what they do. If you click on help, it can tell you what each function does. So the sum function adds values. Simple, for example, let's try this out. For sum, you want to add sum number 1, sending you number 1 here. You can separate by a comma. If we're adding these two, it gives us. So you enter the cells you want to sum, and you close and hit the enter button, and you get your value. That's with the sum function. So it saves you from doing plus and minus and all that in sum function. And it also gives room for multiple, yeah, so you can carry out multiple additions. Let me give you a typical example. Just put this here. Make some random numbers. Yeah. So if I want to sum this here in different ways, but then using the sum function, I can come here and I'm equal to sum, bracket open. I can literally come here and highlight every item here, close my brackets, and hit the enter sign, and it gives me that summation. If you look at the formula bar, you see the sum item, the summed items, and you get your value. So this is for sum. Like we know sum helps us add values together. Let me move this beside sum. Now we have the count function. The count function helps us count the number of items in a selected range of cells. For example, we'll start with equal to, and we have count. Let me just, for the purpose of, so the count function counts the numbers of cells that contain numbers, okay, and counts numbers within the list of arguments. Number of cells that contain numbers. So let's try something out. Equal the count. And then the values, we want to count what number of cells contain numbers. We get 14. If we do this manually, we could check down here under count 14. Let us try something where we add like alphabets. And then we change our count function. And highlight everything. You find out that it still gives you 14. Because count counts only cells with numbers. It doesn't factor in items that are not numbers. Okay? I feel like I should just bring counts to this point. How best do I do this? Yep. Perfect. So count A, on the other hand, if I count values with texts and numbers, I think it basically counts everything. Values that are not empty. So this article describes formulas. Sorry. A counting function counts the number of cells that are not empty in a range. Yes, so as far as it's not empty, it counts everything. So I'm just going to add alphabets. Yeah. So it will count A, and then highlight the area you want to count and select. So it counts everything that has a value in it. So it gets tricky with these two. So we should know when it comes to count, it counts only cells with numbers, whereas count is count cells without with anything, numbers, icons, whatever, as far as the colon is not empty. The cells are not empty. There's also count blank that counts items. I mean, that counts blank in the midst of numbers. It shows it counts blank and how many blanks there are. So we have average. The average, of course, counts and finds the average of a select number of values. So you just select the values and okay, you have the average of these values. Pretty fast, right? It does a whole lot of easy work for us. Max, as the case may be, selects the maximum value in a select number of cells. So if we have this and then want to get the maximum value here, max does the trick. So if we sort this out, we see that 154 is the highest max gives. On the other hand, minimum gives the minimum value. Okay. Now today we would not go into these complex guys because it would be pretty complex. I'll just keep them out. Trim. The function trim is a pretty interesting one. The function trim helps remove spaces from your Excel sheets. So in Excel counts spaces as values. Okay. So let me show you a sample. If I have 154 and I add an extra space, maybe 2 extra spaces, and I keep an extra, and I have 154 without any space. Mainly looking at them, they look like the same thing. But if I use a function, this is equal to this. Oh, God. Oh, okay. It is not identifying my spaces. Let me try it in front. Okay. So for some reason, I do not know why it is not. Okay, maybe this is a number format. So let me try a text. Oh, okay, perfect. So what this basically does is this formula, I put this is equal to this. If it is true, if this is equal to this, it is true. If this is not equal to this, it is false. Right? That's what this formula says. So here I have the extra spaces here, and I have text here, right? So it's false because Excel is recognizing the spaces. Now the trim function removes spaces from the text. So if I put an equal to trim and I select this text with extra spaces and I hit the enter button, it brings the text here. If I try this out now where I'm like equal to this, the trimmed item is equal to this other one, it gives me a true. So the trim function takes away extra spaces from your data. Okay? So there are many other functions we'll be looking at. Let me see if I can gather a few. I'm going to give a documentation on a number of them that we can work with. Okay. So we'll just do a few more for tonight, and I'll take questions and we'll call it a night. So we have the right function. We have the left. We have the mid. Okay. So if we have some data like, let's say, halogen. And so right selects numbers, left numbers or rather values from the right, left picks from the left, or sometimes you may just want to select a particular range of numbers. Let me use days of the weeks, for example. It's going to make more sense. Take out Monday, and I drag this down to Sunday. Okay, you know how we may want to just use the first three letters, right? Rather than individuals. So equal to, so let's take the first three from the left. That's MONTUE, Wednesday and all. So equal to left, function is left. There are two options here, the text and then the number of characters. So if I select Monday and I click on comma, number of characters, I want the left first three numbers, right? So I enter 3 and I hit enter. Here it has picked the first three, right? If I want the last three equal to, that's the ones to the right, that's DAY, I'll go right and I select Monday, comma. Now number of characters is 3, the last three. Hit the enter button. Okay. So for Monday, so for this, I can drag down. Okay, so there is something, if we do not know, let me just quickly show. If we hover around a cell with a value, you could see a number of plus signs. They have different functions and different meanings. You have this cross that can be used to highlight, right? If you want to highlight over certain values, this cross that looks like first aid box here. Anyway, the one with pointing arrows, if you want to move your cell, move the value, everything, the one with pointing arrows does that. Then there is this other black one that usually comes when you go to the edge of the Excel sheets. The edge, mostly the bottom right edge. It's a drag down icon. It tells you that it's ready to drag down. So once you drag it down, it applies the formulas into each of the cells. So basically the formula I applied here, and here, when I dragged down the functions. I don't know if we grabbed that. For the day also, I think we'll just have day because the last three values for each of the cells are day. Let's try out mid and see. So for mid, you have the text, that's the first option. And then you have what is called the start number. And then you have the number of characters. Now the start number is where you want to start counting from. So here, let's say we want to start counting from the third cell, so 3. And then we have the number of characters. How many characters do we want? So I could also say 3 and close and hit enter. So it takes NDA, starts counting from the third alphabet and takes 3 from there. This doesn't make sense, but there are situations where we may want to use that. Right. Okay, so that is that for trim. We've looked at trim, looked at right, left, and mid. Now, next class will advance to more complex formulas, but we're going to take questions now. Shortly after the class, I'm going to send a practice assessment to everybody on the WhatsApp group that should be submitted by tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. Maybe Saturday. Not tomorrow, so that you could be up and your brain will still be hot. Anyway, between tomorrow and Saturday. Right, I'm going to send practice assessment on this and Yes. So any questions so far? No questions? Okay. So I'm seeing Ezekiel's iPhone. I'm not sure who that is, but can you tell me the difference between formulas and functions? Please feel free to unmute. Okay. Dami, can you help out? Difference between formulas and functions?
Good evening, everyone.
Evening. Hi.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I think what I understood is formulas are like, okay, let me start with functions. Functions are the like operators, like the plus, minus, divide, and multiply signs. Then our formulas are like the ones written in text that like automatically performs operations on on the cells you want the operations to be performed on. Yeah, that's what I understood.
Okay. Do we all agree with him? Okay, Somebody's hand is up, please.
Okay.
Am I audible?
Yes, you can. Oh,
Okay, I'll just I think in my own layman language, I'll just say formulas are more mathematically inclined. So things like um um multiplication, subtractions, additions, divisions and the rest. While functions are more should I say formatting, a way to format or to um get specific or certain information from the data. So formulas are more mathematics. So I can see that you see in the voice formulas, what I see is that's some subtract, divide, multiply, all of that. Our functions, I'm saying things more like count, where you can formatting the documents. Let me say where you see left, you see right, you see trim, you see mid, and you just give us some examples of how that appears when you do things like left, right, trim, mid, and all of that, which is more formatting the document to get the particular information, not particularly adding or subtracting, but getting a particular information from the data that is available.
okay. Thank you. Thank you, Samuels. Yes, Samuel, you want to say something?
Yeah, just to add to what my colleagues have said, I think for my own layman term, maybe I'll just use the
Everybody's doing
keyboard as
lemma
an
terms.
example. Yes, I'll just use the keyboard as an example. We have the alphabets that we can type and numbers. So I'll say formulas are what we input and maybe type with our hands. And functions are like your caps lock and your shift and your control and your ESC buttons that are already stored in the system, but you just have to make use of them. So that's just what I understand.
Okay. Okay, thank you for your understanding.
Okay. Sorry, this is T.
Yeah, T, you can.
Okay, so I was saying Excel formula is an equation that calculates values, and then for what's this one? Function, right?
Mm,
Function are what performs specific tasks like the
mm.
concatenate, average, and sum and the likes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good. Yes, Jeremiah, go on, please.
Yeah, okay. To just add what you said, so functions are like they are programmed, we like call them programmed formulas for specific stacks. They are programmed formulas for specific stacks that we already installed on the computer. But formulas are those things that the users they impute themselves to calculate or find out certain things. So functions are already pre-programmed. They are pre-programmed to do a specific assignment. You just need to call them up to action. While formulas, the user have to impute them to carry out that task. You need to, yes, do them yourself.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Does any other person have anything to say? Yeah, so Dami Lola, let me just clarify. I hope from what you said so far you've got the correction, but just to reiterate, I think you got it all mixed up. So functions are predefined. They are like the sum and the count, the predefined formulas. Yeah, predefined, like programmed, like Jeremiah said, used, I mean, for ease, right, to make the work easier for us. Whereas that's functions, whereas formulas are the ones where we get to literally add the plus, minus, divided symbols inside the computation to get our results out. Okay. So sometimes they come in handy. Sometimes they're not necessary, but yeah. Okay. So another question, what is the difference between count and count A?
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, for count does not put in consideration the alphabet. It only put in consideration the figures. For instance, as you have on the screen, maybe you have 24, 31, and the likes. And then maybe you have something like a AW, TU at the bottom. So count you only take in consideration the numbers. But for count A, it will take in consideration the numbers and the values together. So I think that's the major difference between them.
Okay. Okay, beautiful. Okay. Um, that's great. Do we have any questions? Do we have any questions so far? None? Okay. So we would call it a night for today.